One thing I've always found a little strange about videography is that it can actually be pretty difficult to practice. Working as a video producer, most of your time is spent planning, editing, scheduling, or coordinating, and the actual time you spend behind the camera is quite limited. And that's part of the reason why, over the last little while, I've been trying to introduce an everyday camera into my life, so I can shoot more often. Because videography, like any skill, just gets better with reps. And in my opinion, the FX30 is the perfect camera for this. It shoots incredible footage at 4K 10-bit, and when you shoot an S-Log, you get loads of dynamic range, which is great for color grading. And you get all of this with a camera you can fit in your pocket. Having an everyday camera ensures that you get those reps in more regularly. And it doesn't actually take that much effort. This past weekend, my mom, brother, and I went on a little road trip, and I decided to bring the FX30 along. I didn't document everything, but every once in a while when something caught my eye, I'd take a moment to frame up a shot. What I found really interesting was that when I had my camera with me, either in my backpack or in my hand, its presence changed what I started paying attention to. Suddenly I was noticing how the shadows were falling, how certain colors naturally drew my attention, the different layers within a composition, and the contrast between light and dark areas of a scene. I wasn't necessarily filming everything I saw, but I was constantly evaluating whether something would make an interesting shot. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits to carrying a camera around. Even when you're not actually shooting anything, you're still thinking like a filmmaker. You're paying closer attention to the scenes in front of you, and you're always making small creative decisions. And over time, I think you'll start to train your eye, and it'll help you recognize opportunities in future shoots that you may have otherwise missed. By carrying an everyday camera, a lot of the activities you do start to become tests for future shoots. On the same trip, we played around in golf, and I found that even though the lighting conditions weren't perfect and it was raining a little bit, ideas started bouncing around, and from the couple of shots that I got, I could see how that could translate into some great shots in a potential future golf shoot, which is something I really want to do one day. There's also just a lot of room to experiment with new ideas, even if they do turn out pretty bad. Or you could just have fun too.
Watch this. See that?
On a professional shoot with time constraints and budgets, this might seem a little risky to do and a little bit unnecessary, but when you're just taking your camera out on a round of golf, it's just a little bit of fun and a low stakes shooting test. The worst case scenario is the footage sucks, and the best case scenario is you have some great ideas for a future project. I kind of want to give this a go again. Hell yeah, it works. Over the last year, I've definitely noticed that I've started grading a little darker than I used to. And I'm sure that a year from now, there will be things about my work that have changed again. The cool thing is that those changes never really stop. As filmmakers, our tastes are constantly evolving. We start gravitating towards different color palettes, different contrast levels, different ways of framing a shot. And over time, those preferences slowly become part of our style. That's how we grow as creatives. We consume, we get ideas, we try things out, and then we adjust based on how much we like what we see. That's another thing I love about having an everyday camera. The shots you take for yourself become a place to explore those ideas without any pressure. You can experiment with different grades and slowly figure out what resonates with you. These fun shots you take for yourself will help you discover what you like, and then the more serious shoots you go on will be for when you need to use that discovery to execute. Carrying an everyday camera won't magically make you a better filmmaker, but it dramatically increases the number of creative decisions you make each week. And filmmaking is ultimately a skill built on thousands of creative decisions. So whether it's the FX30 or some other camera, I'd 100% recommend finding something that you love carrying around with you every day. Copying me?
No, I'm going a bit bigger, chilling out on the swing. Oh shit, turn!